We have some questions also a bit on the I'll get actually straight into a longer one because we have a short question that maybe we can summarize a little bit on the same. I think I remember this from myself using Quasar. So the question that we got was Quasar builds itself as a front-end framework, multiple platform targets with UI components. So having the code, right, to be able to use it across the platforms, as opposed to a UI component library. And the second part of the question is, he or she needs a component library, not a front-end framework. Is Quasar a good choice for me in terms of unnecessary complexity, performance, and bundle size? And then we have also another question that is on the same but not a specific. What kind of projects are best fit for using Quasar?
Yeah. This is such a fantastic question, and I'm glad it's getting asked because Quasar's got a very tough, I guess you could say, marketing problem in that Quasar as a component library by itself is insane. It is remarkable, and it's completely, it's decoupled from using Quasar's CLI tool to build projects. So yes, absolutely, you can use Quasar's component library. You can do that using Vue CLI, and it's also just released a Quasar Vite plugin, which works remarkably well. So you can have a Quasar server up and running in milliseconds using Vite and Quasar. And if you like, in that case, you can just use it as a component library. And I would, even though it's you get all the bells and whistles, and you can build just an SPA that works remarkably well, using Quasar or a PWA, and forget all the other stuff, which I do for a lot of my projects. I'm not even building Electron apps or any of that stuff because Quasar is also my choice for just building SPAs and PWAs. It does an amazing job just for using it as a component library. So it's very common, I think, for people to think, wow, Quasar is this like big, massive thing. It's going to give me a massive bundle size. That's actually not the case because you just pluck out the stuff that you need. And by default, Quasar is actually really, really small. And it's got this amazing library of utilities, amazing library of components, but you just pull out the stuff that you actually need. So this is a tough marketing problem for Quasar in that it does a remarkable job of keeping a small bundle size and being great just as a component library. And so it's almost like I want to say the component library is what stole my heart with Quasar. But the fact that you can export to other platforms, that just blew my mind. That's like a plus for me. So please, people watching this, I want you to know that Quasar is at its core a phenomenal, a mind-blowing component library. So even if you just want it to build an SPA or a PWA, then go ahead and check it out for that reason.
Cool. Great. I think you helped at least cover some of the marketing for Quasar here. So hopefully people are listening and paying attention. Another similar, it ties a bit into good things to know about Quasar, I think. One question here was it on styling, and we also have a follow-up one, or not a follow-up one, but one that is really similar, given that your answer covers theming. Is it easy to edit the style of components, or is it only advisable to use what the framework provides? I think the first question was maybe a bit broader and could also be interpreted in different ways, but someone was also curious about theming system and that kind of things.
Okay, that first question is such a great question. Man, these are the best questions I could possibly be getting. So the way I like to put it is it's really easy to remove the quote-unquote material design field from Quasar. And I kind of touched on that by showing you that you can make a card flat very easy. In fact, if I have, for example, a card component and I just say add the flat attribute, that card is not very much. It's pretty much just a flat card that, gives you a little bit of extra things that makes it easy to style, etc. Quasar is remarkably flexible in terms of styling. The stuff that it can do with styling by default really is it really is mind-blowing. And I feel like people often don't give it the chance to go and check out the API and check out the attributes that are available through Quasar that makes it super easy to style things to your heart's content. Now, on top of that, a lot of people might know about Uno CSS, which has been popular recently. And I recently did a video where I got Uno CSS working with Quasar because they've now got it working with, and you can do that using Quasar Vite, or you can do it using Quasar CLI because it works with Webpack now. And so if you've got Uno CSS at your fingertips, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. Like, you've got this massive, I don't use it myself. I personally feel like Quasar gives me everything I need to style. The utility library that it comes with by default is everything that I need for my projects. And I have literally, the biggest sell for me was with Quasar was I don't write CSS anymore. I hate writing CSS. I know some people love it. I hate it. Quasar has allowed me to basically do a project that we've been working on for 4 years now and virtually not write a single line of CSS. Our CSS file is like this big. It's remarkable. Like we did it for some page sticky stuff. The rest is just using utility classes and Quasar's components. And what was the other question? Is it easy to, does Quasar have a theming system? No, but we are thinking about this. This is something that's probably, it's on the roadmap. It might happen at the end of this year. But please don't let that deter you. Like if you really want to theme Quasar, just create your own base components. Wrap it. Grab a component, make it how you want it to look. Vue makes it so easy to wrap components and use it as a starting point if you'd rather do it that way. Like, please don't let that deter you because I promise it's totally worth it for the magic of being able to develop with Quasar.
The question that came up in a couple of forums, and I guess it's hip these days. Will Quasar support Vite in the future?
Yes, Vite for Quasar is currently being worked on. By the way, I'd just like to throw in there, Quasar was the first major framework to be on Vite. We got there super fast, which blows my mind. So if we use that as kind of a comparison, I imagine that Vite is going to come out. Vite support is going to be coming out quite soon. However, I don't know that for sure. On top of that, you can currently use Quasar with Vite by using the Quasar Vite plugin, but you're going to lose that ability to export to different platforms easily and all that good stuff. So if you use Quasar CLI, you can export to different platforms. It gives you a whole bunch of goodies. It makes it a lot more of the app extensions work by default. However, if you want just the component library, then you can use Quasar's Vite plugin to get up and running straight away with Vite.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Luke. Yeah. One last question regarding your talk. What app are you using starting from? Was it a Vue CLI generated project?
All I did was I said Quasar create and then the name of the app. So if you install Quasar CLI, I think it's at Quasar/CLI. If you install that globally, you just say Quasar, create the name of the app. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions, all the kind of stuff you're all probably useful as web developers. And then you're up and running and ready to go. One thing I did do, I did do a little bit of extra stuff in terms of the linting because I like to have my linting set up in such a way that I can save the file and it all lints nicely for me. Makes it easier to do live streaming as well. But that's pretty much it. It's just a project from scratch and I just started adding in these app extensions. Yeah.
Great. Thanks a lot. So thanks for your talk again, Luke. And it was great talking with you, covering the questions. I wish you a great, whatever time of the day it is where you are. And hope to see you again in the future.
I had a blast. Thank you so much, Rob.
Take care. Ciao.